Alright, I gotta park somewhere. So I gotta ask the staff. The Dennys are about the only people around to ask. Fred Meyer's is a no-go. If all else fails, I'll park over by the sporting goods. Those folks are good to me, and I spend a lot of money there, so. Camping gear. Oh, if you don't have this or you don't have that, then you're not taking care of yourself. Well, I bought what you told me to. It's sitting in my vehicle because I don't have a camp. Fucking expensive shit. Come on, stay connected.
Question. Do you remember this? Did I drop my wallet last night? Black bean in my wallet was in. So I was trying to trace my steps. Either that or it was
Alright, so
when I came out.
when you were in the, I didn't see Beanie when you were in the blue Mustang or when you were in the white one.
Yeah, and I had it in my right.
You gave me the $5 when you left here and then came back. I didn't see a beanie in your wallet.
Yeah, I've been trying to retrace my steps. I had a freaking. It sucks.
I thought I saw something like a couple of things down from my car. I wasn't sure what it was, but I figured if it was a beanie, it was so wet and it wasn't mine. I don't know what it was. It was just a black something.
Where at?
It was probably 2 parking spaces over from where my car is at now.
Yeah, those are both my cars. I got the 2020 GT 55-year anniversary edition. Then when my dad died from cancers, I inherited $10,000 and I bought a Shelby GT350 for $100. So that's why, I'm my own competition. So, and God allows me to have them.
Tough to race yourself, but that's the great thing. You don't have to.
Yeah, see. But I'm actually thinking to sell that to my friend.
I was one of the really old ones.
Yeah, they based this one off of it. That's why I put the louvers and blacked out the deck lid, put black wheels. It's like the 55-year fastback. And then the Shelby obviously is a fastback too.
Yeah, they wouldn't have the straight 6 the first game in.
Did you enjoy that, man?
I did.
Bro, dude, I kind of see it here too, maybe. You do?
Oh, no, we do. They take it off the table because the menu is mispriced. I keep one out, so these prices are incorrect by a few dollars. Not by really a few dollars, like oh, same thing. Oh, no, that's not how yeah. What's up? Oh, they took it away from me. I don't have it. Yeah, you can just. That's right. We're gonna manifest it. mayor's order? Right.
Sorry about that.
And that bacon avocado has American cheese. Has American instead of cheddar. Oh, it doesn't? Okay, thank you. Sorry. Yeah, of course.
Hey, Jaden.
Sir.
Well, Sam suggested over here parking after I told her what happened this morning, but the thing is, what's her name? Mickey? I told her that already and she didn't seem to care. So, where's the nearest place that I can probably park at in the immediate area? Because the Fred Meyer's is kind of a difficult one for me.
I was gonna say that corner of this parking lot.
I already asked. See, that's the thing, dude. I told you. I want to ask you, is she like,
She's not the general manager. She is no longer. She completely gave that position up. If she's whining to you, tell her to shove it, man.
oh, I'm definitely not going to do that.
She's a power tripper. Trust me.
I'm a homeless dude, and I know where.
We have spoken to the police about you. We have spoken to the police about you, dude. You're a paying customer. You're in a heavy situation, and yes, you're absolutely allowed to stay in this parking lot. And Mickey, of all people, who gave up her position and is still power tripping, can shove it, dude. Dude, you are totally able to stay here, and if she's got a problem with it, she can take it up with every single one of us and the police officers that have allowed you to stay.
She already told me that she's going to call the cops.
Oh, well, that's really funny because the cops know you're here.
Yeah, well,
If she calls the cops, they're gonna come ask us what's up, and we're gonna tell the cops, "Yo, Mickey's power tripping again," and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's all, man. Have a good day." Dude, she needs to stop power tripping on you, man. You're a paying customer. Like I told you, if you're underclass, she's gonna pick on you, man, because you ain't got a house.
I also wanted to know, is she like ignorant white girl racist, or is she like KKK meeting racist?
Kind of like a mix.
Oh my God.
Kind of like a mix, man. Like, definitely uptight type of that way, but was raised by the definite wrong folk.
Miss Chapel, Nebraska. There's a lot of girls I went to high school with that they can't bring themselves to date other people, even though they're against racism. But that's just because they was raised by racist parents. They're like, I see black people as people. I just can't date one. I'm like, you poor girl.
Yeah. You know, she's a different type.
Yes, sir.
Yep, the cops have been informed about you time and time again.
In a bad way?
No, in a good way. We have informed them you are a very docile customer. You're just in a heavy situation, and so we allow you to stay within our parking lot because you're not causing us problems and you're very peaceful. We have told them multiple times. Because the cops have asked Mike on a separate occasion, the ones that weren't told about you have asked us when we were here one night on a separate occasion. We told them, no, you're a very docile customer and we allow you to stay here. And they said, okay, we just wanted to make sure he wasn't causing problems.
I don't cause problems for anybody, but when people cause problems for me, I get defensive. Everybody should. We should be allowed to defend ourselves.
Exactly.
Kind of like when somebody punches me in the face. I'm autistic. I know what being punched in the face is. And autism is not the same thing as being delusional. It's not the same thing as being schizophrenic. If I'm punched in the face, I was actually punched in the face. I didn't hallucinate.
Exactly. I was actually punched in the face. Oh boy. I don't know how to find out what's up with this.
I got most of my stuff packed up. I will get my dishes all stacked up in a nice, neat little pile so it'll go in your bucket quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I'm going to slide the coffee pot in the deck window over there so that it's close to where it needs to go.
Okay. So,
I got to find a better way to disperse my fleas.
what was that?
I said I need to find a better way to disperse my fleas.
I'll be right back.
Honest to goodness, though, I try not to be racist. It's just white people scare the living hell out of me. Okay, car?
All right, so none of the people, most of the people at the little area here don't have much tolerance for racism, and although a couple of them are closet racist on accident, which is if you ain't never experienced somebody like that, they mean well. That's all I can say. They do mean well. Like Julie said, she's got a daughter who's black, and one thing they didn't advertise about Tillamook is that it was a racist town. Very racist place. I don't think any of his solutions, although he had the same solution that Faith did, the same solution that, God, what was that lady this morning's name? I'm trying to remember them all. I learn one at a time. And then there's also Sam. She had the same idea. She's like, that's a different parking lot over there, right? Yeah. I've been told it's partitioned off. It's obviously a separate parking lot. Yes, I'm aware. You can park over there. Well, I told that lady this morning, no, that's not okay according to her. So I don't know. For him, his solution was, let me see, cursing her out. No, that's not going to work. Realistically, I know I'm a hobo. Realistically, I know that doing any of the tough guy stuff that he was saying to do will get me arrested, thrown off the property, and it'll burn a whole bunch of bridges that don't need to be burned. These folks ain't got no animosity towards me. I say most of them because whatever wild hair crawled up Mickey's backside, it's not something where it's going to go over well between me and the cops if she, as somebody who's saying that she's the manager there, is calling the cops. And yeah, she did say she was going to call them. If I'm here tomorrow morning, so I'm getting my stuff packed up. They should be about closed now. Let's see what time it is. Yeah, about 17 minutes. I really like the Hispanic lady that makes the biscuits. And here's why, okay? I don't understand a goddamn word that comes out of her mouth. That's not why. It's because she brightens up the day of everybody around her. And yes, I actually have heard her speak English. The day she brought in tamales. I think it's the same lady, but I don't know for sure because the lady who brought in the tamales, I could only hear her Same as you guys in the background. You probably also noticed it's difficult for me to focus and to speak without getting loud when there's a bunch of noise going on. Anyway, I did go in to ask where I should go. Apparently the solution is for me to go to somewhere that lady was already saying no about, and I let Sam know that too. All those people had the same solution. They really did. And like he was saying, she's not the general manager anymore. She gave up that position. You see why I don't take people's suggestions? I have to think it through. I have to be the one to think it through. When Candace Bondurant says that she'll shoot someone, I have to be the one to think it through. She can just say stuff like that, and it's fine. I can't. If I say something like that, it has to be calculated and specific with intent and for a reason. And I have to state that reason and intent beforehand because I never intend on harming anybody. My intent is to show the truth in order to prevent harm against others. That's tough to do when the police keep stealing all my things. That's going to take me a couple of minutes beyond when I get my stuff into the vehicle for me to get it all situated and also make it so I can see out of the fucking vehicle. What a pain in the ass, right? Well, on the bright side, at least it's getting done. My back hurts like a motherfucker and I'm tired as hell, but at least it's getting done. Also, there's a lot of people who need help out here who got mental health problems. Most of their mental health problems are PTSD, that's post-traumatic stress disorder, from being abused. I got a bag of garbage I gotta toss. Oh, thank you, sir. I'm glad I got here before you mopped. You know, knowing faith is a pugilist makes me feel better. What's that? I said, knowing that faith is a pugilist does make me feel better.
Yeah.
If anything goes down in here, she can protect you.
I just met your girlfriend at the pizza place.
What's up?
Your girlfriend?
She, Norway, just started working there, yeah.
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 She goes, yeah, you must have my boyfriend. I said, yeah, over there at Dennys.
Oh, yes.
So he's a really good guy. She goes, oh, I know. I said, yeah, you don't find very many guys that are that good.
She's an angel.
Yeah, she goes, They're really sweet.
As much as I like all of your suggestions, I'm still gonna go park in that parking lot across the street. If I do any of the things that you suggested, I'll get arrested.
Don't do that. Tell me
I told her to talk shit to Mackie.
Oh, God. I don't talk to any of those officers. I don't talk to any people out here. I go to work, you know, come here and
Yeah, I come here and I go to Starbucks, and then I come here and I go to Starbucks, and I come here, and then I go to Starbucks and I come here, and then I go back to Starbucks.
yeah.
It keeps me out of trouble, and it keeps me out of the areas where people are victimized.
You thought I kept you out of trouble.
Whatever. He was telling me that I should curse that lady out. He was also telling me to go park in an area where I've already been told it's okay to park there. But I also know that whether it's okay to park there or not, if he calls the cops aren't gonna listen to me. So it's probably a good idea to go park there.
And 6419. 2046 to 81, 2046 to 82, 2046 to 83, 2046 to 84, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh.
Good thing I need to take a breath.
I would have had to bring it back.
All right. Now hold on, right? I would have been like a man if you got it all.
Yeah, but it screwed up your children.
I'll try to do that tomorrow.
Shall be here having fun.
And I guess you work again tomorrow. Mike already told me, so I'm gonna
Yep.
try 7 o'clock like usual.
Perfect. I'll be here having fun waiting for you to paint me like one of your British dudes.
Well, I got all that stuff stacked up on the table nice and neat. I put the decanter in the little frame window there, so it's easy to grab and it's right where it needs to go.
So you're sweeter than Ken.
No. That's because I have too much sugar in my blood from drinking all that coffee. Syrup.
I was gonna say, man, I feel like if you ever come in and tell me you got diabetes, I'm gonna feel ever so slightly responsible.
Oh no, you get diabetes from eating too much bread, not from too much sugar. It's the bread being processed into sugar that overreacts with your pancreas. Now, for me, I'm sorry you have to work with racists like that lady. She wasn't racist with me, but it's not like I go advertising that I'm of Hebrew descent and that I
I'm
have
gonna say it's
African
not the
ancestry.
easiest thing to tell she is. I've just kind of picked it up. It's just her overall. She is definitely how you would say old school character.
Well, maybe when you, no, because I'm gonna want to leave here before the cops find an excuse to mess with me. But I'll play the video for you tomorrow, or the recording for you tomorrow of everything she said. It was like 1.5 minutes is all, but it was enough. Like, she was nice about it. She said it nicely. All right. Well, you have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Gotta make sure I don't set everything down and thank goodness. Thank goodness I had to make a second trip because I was looking for my lighter and I couldn't find it. And I just found it. Alright. So I'm up to 43% charge. All right. It is what it is.
off my audio recording device because I don't need it. It's just me. Although I've been surprised on more than one occasion on my predators showing up. Being douchebags while I'm trying to fucking sleep. Beating on my doors, beating on my windows, breaking shit next to my vehicle. Yeah, and Molly wasn't the first one to do shit like that either. A lot of times when people have somebody that they've chosen as their acceptable victim, or even a community of people, like the people in Hood River with Daniel, or the people in the Dalles with Miss Jamie. You know, these are both people that are what you guys would call mentally ill, but they have those actual diagnoses. They have those actual issues. Both of them also have PTSD. There's also the fact that all of those people there have stories of their family members getting taken in by the police on a mental health thing, getting injected with drugs and not coming back mentally. Nearly all of them have those stories. And I've recorded them nationwide. One coast to the other. Here in the United States, people who are called mentally ill are not considered human beings. They're not treated like human beings. The term mentally ill is used to discredit us, to pretend like we're violent schizophrenics. How can every single homeless person be a violent schizophrenic? I want to know that. How is it you guys can actually believe that stuff while telling me that it's not okay to judge all cops? It's just ludicrous. Anyway, although I was messed with on 2 different nights over there, at the parking lot on the other side of the street. They were both over situations with Molly. And Molly isn't there. I've been told that some of the folks here have seen her and Tom in town. I don't go to town. I stay down in this area. Caleb, who's one of the managers at the Fred Meyer, as well as Scott Scudder, said that she's been 86th from there, and that she had already been 86th from there before. Like she's been to Tillamook before. Anyway, as crazy as she was pretending to be, and I gotta say pretending because she knows exactly how to play victim the moment she gets busted. Most of y'all do. That's your natural defense to getting busted lying. And the shit that you fucking lie over is fucking trivial goddamn shit. But it doesn't stay trivial, does it? No, eventually it starts getting people killed. Those little white lies that you just want to save face. Maybe you don't want people to know you're an alcoholic. Maybe you don't want people to know you're a meth addict. A lot of the people I stayed with are nice enough people. When I say nice enough, it's kind of like saying they mean well. Well, meaning well doesn't get anything accomplished. Hope takes effort. If you don't make any effort, how is anybody going to have any hope? or certainly any faith. Prayer without effort does not work. You can sit on your couch and pray all day for God to pick up them chestnuts off of your table right in front of you and put them in your mouth for you. But no matter how much you pray for the Almighty to do that, the Almighty is not going to hand feed you almonds and grapes. You can pray, and you can pray, and you can pray all day. But at the end of the day, if you never pick up the almonds or the grapes that are sitting right in fucking front of you and stick them in your mouth and chew, well, you're going to be hungry. And the longer you pray without committing to any action whatsoever to achieve what it is you're claiming that you want, well, my question is, what purpose is there to having that deity if you're not going to put forth any effort? What purpose is there in telling me about your God when you're showing me how ineffective your efforts are, how ineffective your prayers are? Then there's the God answers prayers in his own time or his own way. Well, that's cool. But see, here's the thing. When I go to a police officer because crimes have been committed against me, I'm not going to him for a sermon. I'm not going to him to listen to him tell me about the Almighty. I'm not going to him because I need church. I'm going to him because I need an officer. And I don't get how that is so difficult to understand. But then again, it isn't difficult to understand, is it? We've all been blown off before. We all know what it feels like. We all know what it's like to be bullshit and lied to. We all know what it's like to be stood up. There was an older lady yesterday who walked up to me and asked me if my name was, I don't remember. It was something. I just remember it wasn't my name. And I said, no, it wasn't. She said, stood up again and stormed off. Well, that sucks. No, I wasn't setting myself up on a blind date. Sorry, I wasn't the dude. On the bright side, you might be lucky I wasn't the dude. I am not really into anything other than cuddling. I don't have a massive Johnson. I'd really rather cuddle with a dog. That's not saying anything bad about this lady. She wasn't ugly by any means. She wasn't disproportionate or anything like that. She was gray-haired, but, not wrinkled and sunbitten. Although I'm fairly certain that if she'd have known I was a hobo, she probably wouldn't have asked me anyway. Even if she had thought I was the dude. No guarantees, though. There's a lot of people who are different. There's a lot of folks out there, and this is one of the things that sucks about being friends with A-Bear. I don't agree with A-Bear. A-Bear's real name is Joshua Hebert. Well, it's pronounced A-Bear, but it's spelled Hebert. And I used to call him Hebert the Prebert. There was a lady named Renee in Boulder, and she owned an apartment complex there. And Bear had just gotten out of prison, and he was able to con her and convince her to all sorts of stuff that she wouldn't have done if she wasn't a lonely older lady. I always felt bad for her. Now the Dennys should be closed now. I got all my stuff in the vehicle, but it's gonna take a minute to situate it so I can go driving. I'll show you what I mean. I don't exactly need the walker yet, but I do have one. And I did get a set of crutches. They were, I want to say, $4.99 a set, or maybe it was $5.99. But they were also on sale, half price. And then I got the walker, was like $7, I want to say, but half price. So, I mean, basically for just a little over $5, I was able to get both of those. I don't really need a walker, but there are times where it does make things easier, just to have something that's mobile that I can use to help me stand up sometimes. And that's not something I feel like explaining. Anyway, I'll try to stay on and talking, keep myself awake. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm working with. This is my passenger window on the other side of that. So in order to free that up, I gotta make some room back there and push some of this stuff further back. So I got room to put things like this and things like this. And then I gotta slide this back a little bit further so I can actually see out that window. And then I gotta hope I don't get fucked with in the other parking lot. Now, the 2 times that I've been fucked with over there in that parking lot, it was over Molly. Once over Molly trying to pretend like I'm some sort of a horrible monster, and another time trying to pretend like Tom was an old senile person who needs to be taken back to her camp. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Jeffrey Dahmer. You remember that story about how there was a naked 14-year-old boy that Jeffrey Dahmer had abducted, and he was drilling holes in this 14-year-old boy's head and other parts of his anatomy? So Jeffrey Dahmer is chasing this kid down the road, and this kid runs into 2 women that he knows, and these women are trying to convince these officers that they know this 14-year-old boy and to listen to him. And the police, to their astonishment, turn that 14-year-old boy over to the custody of Jeffrey Dahmer. And those women were forced to allow it under threat of arrest. And both those women stated later on that they wonder how many people's lives could have been saved if they would have been willing to get arrested. Not sure if you've noticed, but I am willing to get arrested. There's a person running down the street naked telling me that they're trying to get away from somebody. I don't see how anybody, even a police officer, could be dumb enough to let that person leave with that 14-year-old. There's no way in hell. But that's the world we live in, isn't it? And I'm told by a bunch of people that don't know me about how delusional I am. a bunch of people who've never been homeless about what it's like being homeless, what homeless people should do. And folks who don't understand what it's like to be victimized like this, avoiding everything but the simple things. Yes, thank you for the fish, but I'll have to eat tomorrow. The resources that are preventing me from fishing, that's the issue I need help with. What do you need to go fishing? You need a fishing pole or a net, depending on where you're at and what kind of fishing you're doing. You also need the place to go fish. It's tough to go fishing when there's no water, right? You gotta have the right tools and you gotta have the right place. Those are both very important. If you want to be a carpenter, going to the places where you would fish is probably not the place to do it. You need different tools. You need a different place. Now, sure, you can make the argument of, oh, well, what if you're building a boat? Well, you're probably not going to build a boat right on the water. You're probably going to start it off in dry dock and slide it in. If you started building a boat in the water, you'd be building it underwater. Logistically, it doesn't exactly work. Anyway, it was a stressful night. I'm gonna roll me a tobacco and then go across the street. I don't think anybody's likely to mess with Jaden or that really nice lady in the kitchen. I should ask her name, but she doesn't come to the front very often. I think I did see her come out front like once to say hi to somebody she knew. Or maybe it was to translate, I'm not sure. But yeah, she seems like an alright lady. And I don't care what language she speaks. She makes tamales. So, like, yeah. If you make tamales and you bring them to share with your coworkers, you can't be all bad. You make tamales. I had one guy explain to me, he said, you know, to us, tamales, that's kind of like you guys going to the bar. You know, you go to the bar, and if you like people, you buy a round for everyone in there, you know. You don't give tamales to people you don't like. And I don't know how true that is. Like, obviously, I'm not Hispanic. I didn't grow up in a Hispanic family. My mom hates all Mexicans. Why? I don't know. I don't care. I know what her excuse is, but one person of that skin color doing a horrible thing to you doesn't make all of them evil. Especially when, well, by my mom's own admission, her own dad, who's a white guy, did that same shit to her repeatedly over and over again. So, yeah, there's that. Alright. There's a lot of people that I know that aren't racist by choice. They've just been taught the wrong shit. Like, there's a lot of white folks that I know who are totally down with BLM. But they still keep their eyes on a black person who come into the store. But you know what? They'll also keep their eyes on the homeless. They'll also especially keep their eyes on high school kids. There's a lot of high school kids that try to make a game of it. Go see who can steal the most shit from Walmart. Fuck, man, what a game to play. Now you got a record, and it's difficult to get a job handling money, which is most jobs in America. Even if you're a construction worker, you're going to be stuck with that. If your boss can't send you on errands because you've got what's considered a crime of dishonesty, that's going to fucking suck. Your boss can't have you assigned for the supplies that you need when he has to run you into, when he's got to send you into town to do that stuff. You got to tell him, like, all right, I can't do that. But also in that particular situation, it's not a fact that you're telling your boss you can't do that, because you absolutely can. The question is he going to trust you to do that? A lot of places won't hire you if you have a crime of dishonesty. Trespassing is a crime of dishonesty. You can get a trespassing charge for sleeping on public property when you're homeless. You can also get trespassing for sleeping on private property when you're homeless, provided that property is not yours. I know over a dozen homeless people in Boulder, Colorado who had permission to camp in somebody's backyard. And the people who gave them permission to stay in the backyard didn't find out that that person was arrested until that person got out of jail. Like, man, I didn't know what happened to you. You just disappeared. Oh, well, you remember you said I could sleep in your lilac bushes? Yeah, the cops thought otherwise. Well, it's on my property. I don't know. Well, I spent 7 months locked up, so you can worry about it later. At that point, those people are just glad to be out of the fucking clink. So you know, the clink is jail, and the joint is prison. In most cases, trespassing is just a misdemeanor. There are special situations or circumstances where it becomes a felony. For me, my predators did a great job of robbing me of my First Amendment rights by pretending that I'm schizophrenic. But also, we've got a lady who is definitely qualified and states outright that I am not schizophrenic. So, that's in my favor, especially since she's the only mental health specialist who has seen me long enough to make such a decision. That's pretty significant and prolific as well. Also, there was a gentleman in one of my videos tonight. He was talking about medicine. What he meant was pot. Like I said, I graciously take it. And I don't want people thinking I'm some sort of square. But I'll get my pot from the dispensary. I don't trust it out here. I've already gotten 2 bags that were tainted. I'm not interested in anything. I don't care if it's legal. It's not something I want in my body. And it's not legal if the people that you're giving that shit don't know that it's in there. If you give somebody a soda pop with methamphetamines in it, they didn't agree to being poisoned by methamphetamines. Now, if you tell them that there's methamphetamines in it and they still drink it, that's their own damn fault. Now, I've actually seen the news articles. People have told me about this stuff. All these people up here dying of fentanyl. And I look it up, and fuck, they're telling the truth. They tell me about these people who disappeared from the area. Like, holy fuck. It's just bad news all around. And then people gave me the down low on which cops I need to be afraid of. Primarily and mostly all of them. I was also told that they're sexist as all fuck here. And that basically if you're a female, you should probably go to a different department. Kind of shit. Or, you know, Oregon is supposed to be some ultra-liberal fucking... It's a shithole. It's like Boulder. You know, liberal my ass. What you're doing is fucking the same shit as everyone else. Stamping your name on somebody else's labor. Somebody else's hard work. Most of these folks out here that are male have worked hard labor most of their lives. Heavy construction. If you don't know what heavy construction is, look up the word grunt. Digging latrines, digging ditches, carrying lumber, hod carrying for a bricklayer. That's all heavy manual labor. It's also how you learn to get into a skilled labor position. But before you can get to that skilled labor position, they want to start you off with the bitch work, and it sucks. I was a hod carrier for exactly 1 day. Fuck that job. There aren't very many jobs that I would just quit outright. But hod carrying for my uncle fucking sucked. He was in a hurry. There was a deadline. It was a side job. His boss was kind enough to allow him to use some of the tools and some of the materials and a small cement mixer. And my uncle was not in a good mood. Also, his ex was not fulfilling her end of the bargain as far as the kids went. And my uncle ended up having an aneurysm. That was no fun. But I wasn't there by the time he had his aneurysm. That was from too much time in the heat, too much stress, and too much chasing women at his local watering hole. That's what he called it. It wasn't water he was after. It wasn't water he was drinking. It wasn't water he was buying. Water didn't have nothing to do with it. Ugh. Get that moved. Some of this up on top of it. Get my computer on top. Well, there have been multiple situations with the cops out here, like Jaden was mentioning. You know, if the manager's going out with someone and there's a safety risk, I let him know I'm there and I'll record it. And if he needs access to it, he'll let me know. That gentleman the other night, and the issue with him and Jaden, I didn't get the whole thing recorded, but I was able to record part of it. And of course, well, most people, their solutions are to get violent. And you got to hear Jaden talk about that too. Sarah Bacon wanted to talk about getting violent as well. Candace Bonder wanted to talk about getting violent. Seems to me everybody's solution is to get violent.
And I get in trouble for speaking out against violence. Sean threatened my life. I take him saying that killing people is wrong as a threat against my life. Are you fucking kidding me? You're out of your goddamn mind. Sean, how dare you speak up about injustice? How dare you speak up about people being cruel to you, Sean? How dare you speak up about people threatening your family? You are so selfish, Sean. You are such a selfish person, Sean. You only think about yourself. Really. God bless America. And let freedom ring, right? I think that's mostly enough that I can almost see out my window. Oh. Fucking Farvignugan. And like I've said many times before, there's a lot of people that didn't start off with the intent of being predatory. They started off, well, like a lot of other people, wanting to say they were sorry. Telling me they'll help in any way they can. Well, they can speak up, every one of them. They all know exactly how to speak up. They do it every day about the things they actually care about. Good old Mountain Dew. Actually, this is Coke. It's caffeine. That's what I need right now. If I chug it, it'll put me right to sleep. But if I just drink a little bit at a time, it kind of just calms me down. But it's pretty obvious, I would hope, that I got a shit ton of fucking anxiety about this. I ain't out here trying to hurt nobody, and I never was. Just trying to show the truth. And not for no reason either. It's because this abuse is bullshit. But you also got to hear, you know, there's folks that are nice to me. There ain't no doubt about that. I try to be nice to everybody. There's a lot of folks that say, you got to earn my respect. Well, I'm different. You don't got to earn my respect. You have my respect. It's my disrespect which is earned. There's also a lot of disrespect that's been had here in the United States, especially towards the homeless, especially towards those called mentally ill. You aren't going to find people more victimized than those two groups, except for men. The only group where men still outshine women as far as the statistics go is sexual assault. And it depends on the assault. Women are more likely to be the targets, that is for certain. But also, we've come to find out recently that there's a lot more female predators than we ever gave credit for. We also get to see that there's a lot of women with histories of being violent with people. And when they get violent with their husband, well, it's more likely that their husband is going to be the one who's going to go to jail. And when people are cruel to you like that, they tend to be pretty ruthless.
kind of like you guys have seen them divorces that get real nasty, right? And there's usually one parent who's actually still nice and trying to be a good parent about it, but the other one ain't having it. It's the one who's doing a bunch of shit underhanded and below the belt that ends up winning. And this baffles the shit out of so many parents. Like, why is it that way? Well, it's because America is a capitalist country, and we worship scammers. The more money you can scam people out of, the more rewards you will receive. Nature of the beast, right? Anyway, I know where I'm allowed to park here tomorrow. I don't feel comfortable staying parked over across the street for an entire day. I can probably move in that parking lot, but the thing is, I need to try to keep my vehicle in sight. If they try pulling some bullshit like they did up there in Tacoma, it'd be nice to not have to try to come up with the funds to get my vehicle out of the impound. And that sucks, because the only reason it would be impounded is because I don't have the money for insurance. Or not insurance, but for the plates. Because, see, it's not just plates. I have to have an actual physical address. And people keep telling me, well, don't you know anybody in Tillamook with an address? Well, I didn't know anybody here when I got here, and most of the people I know are homeless. And the ones that aren't homeless aren't real keen on doing anything like that for anybody. Two of the services that told me that I could use them as an address have been predatory towards me in ways that are not appropriate. And as a result, I basically have to be afraid to go anywhere for help without somebody there and present. Which is the way that it always is when somebody is called mentally ill, which is what I've been trying to explain most of my life. The tag of mentally ill is used literally to get people killed. And in many cases, we've gotten to see that these people who were killed are people that I know. No, I'm not okay with that. I'm not going to shut up about that. And that's not anything that any rational human being would want me to shut up about. When people tell me, hey, you're being selfish because somebody threatened my kids, I'm like, hey, people threatened a lot of folks' kids. A lot of them. And if all of you people who had your kids threatened were to speak up about it, instead of letting me get treated like I'm a fucking wingnut, I wouldn't have had to record it with you to show that I was telling the truth and post it up. See, that's the thing y'all don't get about the recordings between you and I. Any recording between you and I shows that I was telling the truth, so why would I want to hide it? Why are you trying to hide it? You say, hey, you know, Sean, it's really messed up that you posted that video up. It's got my personal business in it. Well, you know, the moment that you told me about it, it became not your personal business anymore, especially when it was your excuse for not coming forward, not helping, and not listening. When every single time that you tell me, hey, if you call it this time, or you call it that time, or you call this day, or you call on that day, and I do, and you don't keep your word, you know what? It really doesn't give me any sort of trust for you. Now, the recording that I have from earlier on today, they don't really say anything nice, and there's a bit more foul language and a bit more loud voices than most of y'all might be comfortable with. So I don't really want to post it up, and I don't feel that it's absolutely necessary at this point. But just so you know, I'm not the only person in this who is cursing about it. Sorry, I'm trying to unwind the cord. Well, I guess you got to hear him curse tonight, didn't you? Yeah. Alright. So, I got a trash bag hanging off the side of my car. Some of that's my trash. A lot of that is just trash that I picked up here in the parking lot. That's where my muffler is cut off. All the way to the back, but fuck it. That's how well my seatbelt works. At least it still clips in place as long as I smack it. They're still working away there inside of the Dennys. Like I said, there's folks who are nice too. There are folks who are really nice too. Now, the really nice people, that doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of people that are not so nice, or a lot of people who are really, really, really not nice. And for a lot of people, they believe that not being an active participant in the cruelty is good enough. Well, no, not if you care about somebody, not if you actually give a shit. And if it's your rights, you will care. The fact that you don't care when it happens to somebody else, well, that puts you in danger and them in danger. And it also reduces your chances of getting to have your rights anywhere except on paper. And that's the scariest part about what's going on right now. We got the media trying to paint every single person who commits a crime as a mentally ill, homeless person. Oh, these people have mental illnesses. These people have mental illnesses. Oh, this shooter and that shooter and those shooters and these shooters, and everybody's fucking shooting everybody, and it's the mentally ill's fault and it's the homeless fault. Blah fucking blah. These folks here who are good to me,
know, there's a difference between being nice to somebody and being good to somebody. I do feel as if there is an issue there at the Dennys that Mike and Jaden will say something. I don't think that the issue with Mickey is something that I don't think it should get to the point where the cops are called. And if I can do anything to avoid any sort of issues like that, regardless of people telling me that there won't be an issue, I gotta pay attention to the fact that, yeah, there very well could be, and there very well has been many times in the past. Like the issue I was trying to talk to folks about the time limit here. Oh good, there's other people sleeping here. That's nice. That doesn't make me feel as paranoid about staying in the parking lot overnight. Over here by the sporting goods. I do have a bunch of quarters in my pocket. Maybe when I wake up I'll do laundry because this is right over by the laundromat. Although I think I'm gonna... Holy shit. Oh, that was windy. Oh, let me show you this. Oh, come on now. That's a trailer on its side right in front of my vehicle. It's a big ass fucking gooseneck. That usually has a sign on the side of it. There's the parking space I was gonna park in. Yeah, it did get pretty friggin' windy. Just not quite what I was expecting when I pulled this direction. Alright. In these videos, good to be with you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Alright.